Alrighty. It's me again. Playing with the birds in the forest. Okay, it's just a beach park. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me again. Here we are at Project Review Q. Thank you, everyone, for your submittals. Everything you send me, I get them. If it goes through BBS Radio, I get them. And it's brilliant. Never stop. We're doing very, very well as we populate all of the scores of desires and art that we all want to see in this planet. Thank you so much for following me. It's a privilege and an honor to start making sense. We all worked hard here to figure out what's going on, and I'm just thrilled that I get to be a part of it and understand things. A couple items I wanted to get out before we started taking on the rest of these calls. Please call in with any and all of your questions there. Like to stay on topic if you can, but this is really about you. I do all these shows for you. Some way, somehow, I want to be of service, and I just listen and do my best to understand, just like you. Ron A, get back to you soon. I did try to get through to you. Forgive me. The other callers that have action items that I've given this last week and the week before, I have to be a little tricky at times to get back to you, just to keep you safe. So I will get back to you, and thank you for doing your homework and helping us out. One item that I wanted to make you aware of that's growing is as I check in and check out, I get the privilege and honor of working with people like Lucia Nicole Evans and Asha and the Mermaid and many others, Kristen and Christopher. What I'm finding now is the way in which we're going through the awakening process is so in depth now, so rich. The game's a lot bigger than we expected, as far as how confined we are at times in our perception. And coming out of it is becoming a bit of a shock for a lot of really advanced spirits in these physical bodies, because the delta is so vast compared to what you were, compared to what you are now, which is really my topic today. And celebrating Max Steele's help and support Special Forces getting my last implant out, and the anniversary for that. What I'm seeing a need from all the healers is, to some degree, all you healers and or people who want to help and support and assist, I'm finding a volume of people starting to really go on that confusing line of, what's the point in the exercise here? Everything's rigged. I got a moon that's a machine. I got a sun that's cold, and I don't even know how big this planet is. And by the way, I can't travel. That's just the beginning of it. And some guy in a lab made my body. That's a lot of information to take on this year. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of people do okay with it, and a lot of people don't. And so that's my encouragement. That's my encouragement for that type of serviceability as we get into healing, and how we can be sympathetic to that. As you heard the one gal talking to secret soldiers, super soldiers, those guys got the same issues as we do. So anyway, my proposal today is, if we can come up with a genre, a modality to hold light and space for our superstars, our really advanced light beings, our really advanced teachers and healers who are, a healing group for the healers, is where I can't wait to focus in the future here. So a real safe place where we can hash things out, truly a collaboration place but also to understand that we're in this together. It's tired of the saying myself, but it makes sense that we would have a healers club for the healers. And so that's my proposal today is if we could get some more projects and geographies where we might do that, what the modalities might look like, because we're supposed to be the best at this. And I'm finding that more and more we could probably be of more support to one another through holding each other's hands at times. With that, I think I'd like to not think and take some more phone calls. Thank you, everyone, for calling in. And I guess I'm just going to start where I left off. And there's some interesting names I recognize coming in, too. This is cool. Did we do Andra from New York on line one? Question, made an archaeological discovery and wants info on it. Okay, is that Andra from New York?
It is indeed.
Thank you so much for calling. I'm so glad to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to talk to you. And I will talk quickly because I'm just loving hearing everybody else. I accidentally made a major archaeological discovery on Saturday, to me anyway, and I'm wondering about getting participation, enthusiasm, cooperation across private, public, and Indian native lands. I'll just summarize briefly. On Saturday, I was going to hear a talk by my friend, the absolutely brilliant actor, musician, writer, and humanitarian, Gary Farmer. And if anyone doesn't know or remember who he is, just go watch the movie Dead Man, and then you can lean into the surreality of what I'm going to tell you. I was on my way to that talk, which is at a cultural center on native land here, and I'm just driving away, looking at the landscape, and all of a sudden, I yell out in my car, and I won't say what I said on the radio, but I immediately pulled over, got out of my car, and said, there is an entire civilization buried underneath my feet. I could see it. I could feel it. It was pulling on my body. And I'm like, oh my God. I have lived in this area my whole life. I can't even tell you how often I've been out that way. And suddenly I am cognizant of an entire buried civilization under me. And so I went to hear Gary's amazing talk, which everybody should Google because he really talks about some really great programs that are happening on the reservations. And so afterward, I told him, and believe me, if you're a little white girl and you're going to tell any Native American, but let alone one of his stature, that you just saw a vision on Indian land, you better be damn sure. But I am 100%, 1,000,000,000% dead sure. And then we talked about it a little bit. And, because he said, yeah, that's our land under there. I said, older. And we talked a little bit, and I suddenly realized that means I'm right about the Erie Canal. That means I'm right about Hill Cumorah in Palmyra. That's not a hill, that's a structure. And then, all the way up to the Ottawa Parliament building. This is, we Tartarian researchers, we love this stuff, but I'm telling you, I stood there and felt it with absolute 1,000% certainty underneath my feet. I do not know how. But I'm wondering about how we could get all the participants to at least agree to do a massive ground imaging to see if we want to excavate, if that's possible. And
Right.
I know,
Yeah.
and I just want to say also that on the tail end of that, because his talk was on how to preserve Native voices going forward, and I'm really interested in that discussion. And so we talked about like how when it comes to disclosure, how far do we go? How much more do we want to keep digging up the past? And yet we cannot go on one more day celebrating lives. And every single call up until now reminded me there is no they. It is only we. And I felt that we, like pulling my body down into this deep, deep space. And it is massive. It is a massive civilization under there. What do I do?
Very nice.
How do we
very
start that
nice. Very nice.
conversation?
Yeah, it's so thrilling to hear. The reason there's a they is because we keep creating them, don't we? They don't exist. If we would, they wouldn't exist, would they? Okay, that's a fabulous question. When I was in Australia, I was debating how much of a task it would be to show. I could put you in a car and I could drive by probably 10 pyramids in less than half a day, and they're all covered in brush and so forth, overgrown. And I could show you the massive trees that used to be there, trees a quarter mile in diameter. That all got chopped down in the Great Wars and stuff. And I started thinking, and there's a beautiful person who wants to do a World History Museum there too. And and so I started looking at all of this material over the years and all of the. By the way, let me throw this one at you. Don't you think it's funny that you're the only one that noticed that the civilization was there when you drove by? Okay. Now hang on to your hat now. What if it's because you used to live there?
I'm certain.
Of course.
This town is named after my father.
Very good. So
it's
now
the
you're
town
going
to.
Right. Now, it's not important how I know this, and I don't want to install beliefs that aren't yours, but you can tell how spirit works. That familiarity is going to come right through you and go, that's home. I used to live there. Anyway, I started discussing this with many people, Aboriginal and otherwise. And of course, having a bloodline of Native American, I can say that I want it all out. And I feel the priority in which we do it is really our inspiration, excitement. It would be real nice if we could have more than 1% of the Egyptian pyramids uncovered. You don't have any of it uncovered. And you didn't explain the great wars that were there, et cetera, and that's why it's a desert there. There's so many things in the Mayan culture. It's endless to prove the history here. So I'd like it all out in the way in which it's natural to the community, because it's going to be everywhere once you have a conscious gateway on your computer or otherwise. We're going to have so many choices. Which one would have the most weight? I'm not convinced of. I would really like to get our universal, as you can see, that's where I work, is the universal model that you're not a human, you're a spirit. And then I think all of those digs, if you will mature for our children. And I think children, I think that priority should come through our natural education process to proof that that's how we used to live. And by the way, we lived a lot healthier. Watch this one. PRQ, when I make sure you have shelter, food, water, affection, endless love in your community, can you tell me what you need now? So we live differently then, is what I'm getting at. So once you all work together and we all have food, shelter, and water forever and have no fear of losing it, your choices when you wake up in the morning change, don't they?
Spirit wakes up.
You would do your day would, if you don't have to worry about survival, not to say all of us do, but the people who have to worry about survival each and every day and the model and the societal models that have been given, inherited, you'll do more work like that going forward. You'll just love to be out in the fields digging up pots and pans and say that used to be grandma's.
I love you.
Love you too. So
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I'll get on to another callers. I can't wait to catch up with you. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Well, now we have proven that junking or antiquing is as old as time. So we're not going to go to Goodwill anymore. We're Salvation Army. We're going to just go out in the field, start digging the shit up. Okay. That's our new antiquing. All right. We're moving on here before Q gets to flip it. That was Andra. So let's go to Gab from Colorado, line 3. Gab from Colorado, line, I think it's line. I don't see the line. So it wants to know a tool that translates negativity. Gab, please explain. What does this question mean?
Okay, Q. I'll explain it. First, I want to tell you I'm sorry you were hurt and destroyed so many times. I love you. And thank you for
I love you.
Here, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. It pains me to be
It's okay. You're just so funny.
I just don't want. No one's going to tell you. So it has to be me, apparently. And so I gave everybody a lot of chances to tell the industrial military complex stories and so forth, but looks like it's me. And so I did voluntold, and here I am.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
And I thank you for having so many people come with you and help us through this time. I love you for that. And thank you for this radio show that you put out. Q, Max Spiers is on the website for the people.space. He had several blogs that were put there, and I read them, every one of them. Of course, I read the whole site, but this Max Spiers is quite enlightened. And so I went through the whole internet, every search engine I could find to try to get anything I could on him. And I found this one thing from 2018, and I'll just read a paragraph to you of what Max Spiers wrote. It's just real quick here. It is, learning to transmute all the negative energy that an individual or group sends at you into high self-empowerment has been a blessing for me over the last 12 months. When someone or some group wills negativity towards you with intent, there is a way to turn that negative energy into your own self-empowerment. In other words, to empower yourself with their negativity. This works especially well on social media as the malevolent energy comes through it in a digital format. I will do a post in the next few days on how to do this. This infuriates the perpetrator as they will be aware that the intent to harm energy has been transmuted into very high self-empowerment energy and literally drains the sender. It works with all types of negative attacks, including black magic, voodoo dolls, and ritual and ceremonial magic. It's a tool well worth learning, as it disempowers the cowards that participate in such acts and leaves them literally lethargic and with the feeling they were trying to layer into you. Thank you, Max Spiers. So that's the end of it, but I just talked with one other powerful goddess, and she said one word. She said it's humor. And I said, well, come on, it didn't take him 12 months to learn that. So my question to you is, do you know anything about what he was talking about?
Righto.
could use it.
Okay. Yeah, stay on the line. I'll bounce a couple things off you if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't mind at all.
Okay, so let's keep me focused here. I'll go all sorts of directions. It's a valid question, and it has a deeper opportunity here, if you ask me, that translates negativity. A tool that translates negativity to positivity. Is that really what you're looking for?
Yes, well, here's a more physical part. Say I'm grocery shopping and I have a bagger at the end of the cashier line and I have a checker. So if I walk in, because I am gay, and if I walk in with my partner and we get stared at, because we love each other, we're just crazy about each other, and we've been together 20 years. And it shows, the energy is there. I would die for her, same for her, for me. Well, they can pick up on it, right? They can pick up on it. So it's all of a sudden it's just start sorcering and making fun of, and I'm in a small mountaintop town, and it just is so tiresome. So it's more of a every transaction with me now, and I study you hard, heavy, all the hold firm, stand neutral, only your greatest excitement. I got pounds of commands. I'm you, Q. I'm true to you, Q. And I have been on a good path. It's physical energy coming at me daily, all day long. I am powerful, so I know that, and I'm being worked. So I use all the tools I can before I get into the store, the commands, the protection, the aura in tight, the empathy under control, everything I can think of. Is it?
Okay, great. This is exactly what I'm seeing more and more now. Is so you're so advanced, you feel a lot more, don't you?
Yes, I do, Q. I do.
So your neighbor isn't like you in some cases. Forgive the stereotype, but so when you can feel more, guess who else can feel more?
So when I can feel more, the bad guys.
That's right. They're going, what do we get? Okay, now this is really now. So in this situation, the most harm you can do to yourself is try too hard. So that's my great encouragement. Is the duality is what I'll call it, that you've described as negativity. You can feel because you can read minds and hearts, and you feel so robustly. Now you can translate it. So for me, as you can imagine, I get courted a lot. I actually visited. I visited a witch yesterday who was harboring someone, and addressed her, and that one of the darkest physical beings I've seen, and she lives in a castle. So when I address her, she cloaks herself, so because she knows full well I'm going to be reading her mind. The minute she sees me, she goes, "Okay, I got problems." And I look at her and I go, "I got problems." We both look at each other and go, "All right, so what are we going to do about this? Because I'm here." Anyway, that mask for me, when she's as negative as I've ever seen, is different than a courted relationship. So someone hates you at work and is thinking about you while they're eating supper. That's a little bit different for me, but let's just use that scenario, one-on-one negativity. When the person who is very talented, is a very talented witch, I call them witches because it's easier,
I'm with you.
She's trained to try and get me. She's not sure how to defend herself yet. She knows she's dealing with a light being. She would cloak herself that would look like a mirror, whereas mine just goes past me. So the negativity for me, it's I'm sorry to make it seem that simple, but if you make it that simple, you're turning on and off your receptors. So the words you used when the words you used of Max's are fine. The fancy words are okay if you need that to help model it. But all you're doing is not participating when you see someone sending the negative emotions. So it just whizzes by me. The witch, she would just, very, very dark magician, really, a black, very accomplished black musician, if there is such a thing. She will hit it. She wants it to hit her because she might be able to use it. And so that's some of the, most of the bad guys you're going to see in the grocery store. They don't know they're doing it. They're trying to absorb your light, which you're translating into negative. So you're a battery for them. They're really excited they're very excited about you being there. so that's primarily how they'll perceive it. Whereas you can't get hooked up. You just gotta let it fly by is my suggestion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense if I can do it fly by like you. I'm weakened, over 60, you're being weakened and poisoned. I'm weakened. I'm trying, I'm learning. I had just don't pull up.
Just don't participate with it.
Don't try too hard.
Yeah,
you said don't participate,
just can't participate,
let it fly by. Okay, I won't. I'll try that. I won't. I'll try that. It's okay. One more question, real quick. Okay, I was born gay. I know I was right out the hatch. Gay. I'm telling you, Hugh Q. I came out. They shoved me in a pre-K school, and I was attracted to the nun that was there. Physically attracted to her. Okay, I was like 4 years old. So I know no one really got to me and pedoed on me to make me gay or make me hate my own sex or anything like that. It wasn't like that. I was organically born that way. My question is that a dark trait? Damn it! Are we all the gays? Can we say? Yeah. I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a dark trait, right? Did they mess with me? Is that why I'm gay? Because they messed with me? I'm not even a natural girl. You know what I mean? Because I love my gay. I love my womanhood. I mean, I love being a woman. I love my breasts. I love my body. I love everything about me. I'm just attracted to women. Did they do that in the genetic thing? You think so? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, okay, so it's a fun story. Well, it turns out I'm a lesbian as well. And I'm in a man's suit. So I'm definitely gay. That's what I said. Okay, so I love women too.
I mean, I'm so mixed. I don't know what to do. I mean, and you're not helping.
Basically, it's been a popular subject recently.
I bet.
The short version is I don't get too hung up on it. I would go round and round with Billy about this and many other people. When you look at what you prefer, it's not as complicated as you're making it. So, genetic engineering is mapping our Merkaba, whatever word you like, for the geometric patterning of our spirit. So you're jumping in a body so quick. This is just for you. Forgive me. I'll be very careful not to give any personal information. So as I can scan you, when you come through the reincarnation wheel and you've predominantly been female, your spirit does not necessarily care, but it does have a preference. Possibly in a very short period of time, it's going to have maybe a pattern. So your omnipresence capability has no real deliberation. It's not, let's go to the male and female store. Which one of these bodies do I want? That does not happen. Okay. That's not what's going on. Okay. But so the consciousness is, when it comes around the reincarnation loop, because we're in a recycling center, it picks the best of the worst. Okay. So your mapping system, we'll call it, the way the spirit finds its pattern recognition. That's how good these guys are. These geneticists are experts at getting you to pick a body And your legacy epigenetics is going to either combine with your legacy or not. So what I did my best to say is, what if you were a woman 10 lives in a row, and then you came around the reincarnation loop and found another female body that was just close enough that your spirit mapped into it, no problem. But what if you were a man 10 times in a row and now jumped into a female body? Interesting, huh?
Yes, it is interesting to me. It's clear.
So you could see both items can play with each other as it relates to epigenetics and the genetic engineering. So that's why you're also seeing politics around the gay community, we'll call it, because they know you're going to start figuring what I just said out. So that's why you're going to see these progressive people about acceptance of confusing children in their orientation, we'll call it, so that they might confuse the rest of the herd and have doubt of what you prefer. So you feel happy? Aren't you a very happy person? Aren't you a very happy person?
Yes, I am.
Do you do it makes you happy? That's it.
Yes. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll just do that.
I do like the traditional model, but it's not up to me. It's up to you, isn't it?
Yes. And I mean, I do like tradition myself. I mean, and people say you chose it. That I know you heard is not true. Some people might, and there's this fluid thing. However, I love my boyfriends. I love my boyfriends. I just don't want to lay down with them. And it's intrinsic, honey. I'm telling you, really.
So I will say it's all over the board, though. So I've seen a lot of people programmed to be gay. I've seen a lot of programming. And you can program a human very easily, but I do not see that with you.
I see. Okay, well, that's interesting, and I love that. And I'm so glad to talk to you. And again, Q, I'm not going to say words. You know they're bad. So here we go. Oh, I love it so friggin' much. Did you get it?
My great. Just chills. Thank you
for
so
taking
much.
my call. Oh, you're so sweet. We love you. Bye, dear. And say hi to Mur. We love Asha and Mur.
Okay.
Holy cow, we love them. Bye, love.
Love you. Beautiful day to you.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye, sweetheart.
All right. I knew I was gay. I don't know about the Catholic thing, though. Anything could happen at Catholic school. All right, we're going to move on. Gab, let's see. Ryan from Arizona. Let's see. Question about folders to send his ID and wants help with ex-wife stealing his stuff along with his girlfriend. Oh, my God. I'm a social counselor. I've always wanted to be a social counselor. Ex-wife stealing his stuff along with his girlfriend. Wow, that's a great story. Go ahead, Ryan. I got to hear this.
Well, so anyway, first off, pleasure talking to you again, Q.
Thank you.
When I go on to the PRQ site, I can't click on a folder to present my idea, and plus I got a ton of ideas and ways that I could hopefully help different projects going forward. But anyway, that's question number one. Getting on to an actual Sandbox folder and filling out my information. I can't seem to do that.
Okay, hold me right there. So locked it down for a bit. We had some safety issues with people getting attacked. So we had to slow things down a little bit out of respect and appreciation for what was happening. Stay tuned. We've got some news coming up. Just stay dedicated to getting the ideas, projects submitted. As long as it has gone through BBS, it's there. So thank you very much. Now tell me.
Yeah, I actually haven't submitted yet because I was working on, exactly how to word it and all that. But I'll just give it a little time, and then hopefully the folder option pops up again, and then I can submit the ideas.
Yeah, so make sure. Now, by the way, everyone listening, make sure you got phone numbers. I need more phone numbers, and you're not going to get an email from Q. Okay. There are some people
that was the other.
will.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, there are people in the group that will email you, but it won't be from me. So, make sure phone number's there, because I like to do business one-on-one or eyeball to eyeball or voice to voice. So anyway, tell me about the ex-wife stealing his stuff along with his girlfriend.
Okay, well, just one other quick thing, since you mentioned the phone numbers. My phone number isn't verified either, even when I click on it to get the text message to input the code to verify.
All right, let me break in. I'm the board op, and I'm going to try to explain that to the audience. That's a new feature, but because of all the international situation that we're having with international numbers and text messages and texting abroad, they've got us in a dance. And we don't want to play that dance, so we're kind of putting it on hold, and we'll figure all that out later. So again, you don't have to verify your phones. Your email will work. And I apologize for the lines going off in the background. It's a busy studio. Help! I'm pulling out my hair. So, but sorry. Anyway, so that's the score. And have at her. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Well, I think I'm going to try and get Ryan. Ryan, forgive me. I think I'm going to try and get a couple more callers. Did you get your question answered?
Okay. Well, if I could answer that last question, the issue with I've had issues with a nasty ex-wife, a girl that was working for me, people stealing all the time. Do I go to court and fight those issues, or is that keeping me in a lower realm of negativity? Do I just, wash it off my shoulders and move on with life, or?
What's the value of winning?
Well, I mean, like you mentioned on the last thing about some of these foreign currencies being pegged to a 1-to-1 basis across the world. And hang
on a second. That's not what I asked. Not what I asked. Check it out.
Okay.
What happens if you win?
Not much. There's still nasty people, but
what's the value of money? There's no value of money right now. There's no value. It's just what we keep using. Now,
sure.
Did you have any of this stuff before you came to planet Earth? No. So it's really not. You're just borrowing it anyway. And so why don't you do something that's fun? Unless you really love going to court, maybe you're really inspired to be a lawyer in maritime law. But for me,
no.
Go find something you're really excited about. I'm going to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Q. All right.
Thank you. My love to you. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine from OK, dealing with recent loss. How do you grieve properly? Interesting. We have something in common. Go ahead. How do you grieve? Sunshine. Unmute, maybe? Okay. We can go on another call.
Sunshine, are you with us?
Hello.
All right.
I don't think Sunshine's with us. I think she might have let go.
Okay, that's right. Can we move on to Beth from Washington? Question about Reiki rehabilitation.
So happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Beth, thanks for taking my call. I know this name. I know this person.
Excuse me. I have a little bit of a cough today. I'm working really hard on rehabilitation from being a proud survivor of the Thoth cult, and also working out of reprogramming my body and my system out of Reiki attunement. And I've actually taught all this for a bunch of years. And so the reason I'm calling today, all the teachings you and Asha are giving and the mermaid are giving are super helpful. And what I'm calling today is specifically, I'm finding that rebuilding the top of my crown chakra, I've been able to work with that. The attunements, open your crown. And so I'm finding that I'm able to rebuild, working with rebuilding my crown, but I'm having resistance to closing my palm chakras, which are also opened in the attunement. And I'm just wondering if you have any input on that.
Great, thank you. Very strong subject for me. Appreciate it. For me, Reiki, as you've heard me say, is probably the most dangerous modality for healing next to massage therapy. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And as you recognize, and this is really just for the listeners. And so I started working really hard a long time ago. Is what the promotion, all the ancient healing books about chakras, and then of course I go and deep dive into the genetic engineering of how the spirit is affected and of course harassed and spread out through the body, which is what we're calling chakras. So for me, when you focus on individual chakras is a mistake. But I've seen a lot of people have success doing it that way. And the reason it's this mistake for me is because you'd have to use, you're back in the game again, focusing on how the mind is perceiving how the spirit comes into physicality. So as spiritual as you are and aware as you are, you're still using thought to compartmentalize the healing component in you. So for me, here's another clue. In the higher frequencies, so a naturally organic mammalian human in a higher dimension, you would not have any chakras. You'd have them all in one ball. And so this human would be spread out. So for me, when you start growing and, for lack of a better term, and combine and healing your chakras and balancing them as you probably have used terms of, you're actually combining them. So for me, talking to your spirit is the only way to solve and or create the solution for you. Now, depending on your capacity to steer the healing, I'm very careful not to get people when they're playing around with the relationship with the body, what we observe in the body versus what the spirit can do. So make it broader is always going to be where I'm going to err, as you've heard me say many times. So commanding my spirit to heal and balance all of my light in me is one way, and see how that goes. So I would rebalance, I command my spirit to rebalance, recalibrate all of my chakras. You could do it that way. Yeah. Don't say one, because you can help me then. I just did. So your spirit only sees everything. So don't try and steer it. You can't steer it. So I'll do it right now. Stay after me. I command my spirit.
I command my spirit
to heal and recalibrate me.
Heal and recalibrate me.
I command my spirit.
I command my spirit
to heal and recalibrate me.
Heal and recalibrate me.
I command my spirit.
I command my spirit
to give me all of me now.
Give me all of me now.
Count after me. 5.
5.
4.
4.
3.
3.
2.
2.
1.
1.
Now. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks cleaner to me. How are you feeling? Just breathe a little bit.
I feel good. I feel great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Did that help you?
It did
You
help.
sure can. You sure can. So just get comfortable. I would say, so you just get comfortable maybe doing it on a, more comprehensive. Make it bigger. Go home, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm working also as I get my system back. I'm super inspired about teaching all of this, how we've all been in the Western medicine, energy medicine, thoughts just integrated these really deceptive pieces that hijacked our systems. And I'm seeing how bad the technology is. And because I actually have been attuning people for a while, I was, not anymore. So I'm working to extricate all of those codes and learn how to teach. And is there anything, and maybe this is too big a thing to ask over the air, but I'm also, in addition to just, I don't know if it's just reaching out individually to those people, what I need to do to, take out the attunement codes that I participated in.
Yeah, I'm on the trail. I'll assure you that. I've known this person a very long time, as you can imagine, and a true, the king of fallen angels, and done some damage, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I have a big birthmark on my back. You mentioned that in the August show.
Yeah, so marking genes is their favorite little cup of tea there, and then you can kind of pick and choose, and it's just to be absolute control nut. And I'm sorry to hear that. I'm super inspired. Asha and I are working on a education package so that you can recognize, and you won't need my help or anybody else's help. But essentially, the more you work with your spirit verbally, all those codes should get erased, and now you can direct them. So here's how I do it with this topic specifically. I command my spirit to remove anything in me that is not authentically me now. And those codes, and do the barcode removals on Creation Light Chip, and you should be good to go. That'd be it. Yeah. It looks like you don't have the barcodes anymore.
Good, thank you. Yeah, I've been working the website, and I'm really inspired about teaching this. I have started developing my own classes and teaching this, and I just want to keep on with the work. And so, thank you for everything.
Thank you. I love that. I just want 1 million of you, and that's why I do these radio shows. So we don't get stuck reading Bibles anymore. There's no rule here. There's no guidebook, is there? Let's make our own guidebooks. My love to you. My love to you. I'm going to see if I can fit one more in.
Okay.
All righty. Let's see if we can find another victim for Q here. I've been going pretty easy on everybody because I love you. Couldn't do this without you. We didn't even have a place to play. Okay, so we got looks like Rob, a Rush fan from Toronto. Question about going to crazy after enlightenment. Going to crazy after enlightenment. Are you?
It's a little rough. It's batshit crazy, but I think.
Yeah,
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm certifiable, no problem. Can you explain? We won't have a whole lot of time here, but give me a symptom. Is it awareness symptom, or is it just participating with other people? What is the symptoms of your experience that you struggle with, you think?
Well, it was an occurrence that happened 3 years ago, and it was very traumatic day during COVID. And, I was at the end of my rope and literally didn't know where to go, no money, fallout with my family over everything, and, crying in my office and saying maybe I'd be better off dead. And then immediately a light, I thought it was from without, but clearly it was from within. And I put my hands over my palms over my face, and just bright, peaceful light, no voices, no nothing crazy like that. Just the most peaceful light ever. And it lasted, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. And it was just kind of the most profound thing that's ever happened to me. But the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God, like I thought I was awake before. And I was immediately going after what, all the things that I wanted to do. And I felt, okay, I know what I'm doing now. And, but everybody was just like, okay, now he's crazy, but I didn't care anymore. I was just like, I can't live that way anymore. And at all costs, even, and then had falling out with my family and stuff after that. But, so I can attest to how that happens. And so I just wanted to call in case I can help anybody else, or, they know that if they're going through it, to not give up and to just keep going, and that, things will level out eventually,
Thank you for that. It's a leap of faith, isn't it?
Yeah. And it feels crazy because you're going to go through months, maybe even a year. And I mean, it's been 3 years, and like, it was at the same time, it was very exciting because I knew I had this direction, but 99.9% of the people in my life didn't understand me. And even I reached out to the time to Paul Hellyer, and we were supposed to meet, but because of things that were happening, by the time we actually got together, he had fallen sick. And so it felt like everything I was doing was falling apart. And, maybe it was because, like you said earlier, about they know who the light goes to. And so it kind of slows us down a little bit. But just if there's anything I can say to other people that are going through it, to just keep going. And like you say, take it slow, and, take it slow and let it go. Because if it's not meant for you, then, sometimes it's tough to say goodbye, but you have to do what you have to do, right?
That's Roger. Thank you so much for that. And I think those are very wise words. It gets better as you trust yourself more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And it's going to be a roller coaster, because you're going to think you're crazy, and because everything's pointing the opposite direction, for a lot of us. And but your inner awareness has grown so much, and you're going to question yourself, and it's not going to be easy at all. And it's been 3 years for me, and I'm still just kind of coming out of it in the clearing. And there's times where you're going to doubt yourself. So just don't give up, because I think everybody thinks, oh, it's going to happen, and then your life's totally going to change, and everything's going to be fine, and puppy dogs and rainbows. But it might be turbulent for a long time, but it's still okay. It's a process, right?
Absolutely. We'll dive into this too. It's a favorite topic for a lot of us. Thank you so much. I'm going to say hi to a couple other people before we go. My apologies for not being able to spend more time with you.
Oh, that's okay. Well, like you said, we'll do it some other time. I just wanted to, support and let other people know that if they're going through it, it's not, they're not alone, right?
No doubt about it. That's outstanding, Rob from Toronto. We're going to get going here. We're going to have to cut her short, but Terry, call back next week. Has a question about confessions. Confess nothing to anyone. Why would you confess anything? I'll call back again next week, please. June, having songs in her mind after going to bed with questions. Love that one. Get with us next week. PBS Radio, Kristen, Christopher, Mermaid, Asha, thank you so much for helping me. Ron A as well. And we will have a beautiful, beautiful day. Say hi to all your Easter fans. And I love, love, love you all. Beautiful day. See you next week.